When the night has come and the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we've seen. No, I won't.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Denver Kids. We ask that you please be seated as we'd like to get our program started on time. Again, thank you for joining us this morning for Denver Kids. And please be seated as we'd like to get our program started on time. Thank you.
Crumble to the sea. I won't cry. I won't cry. No, 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 no. I won't shed no tears. Just as long, just as long as you stand by me. Now, darling, darling. I said I need somebody, man. I need just a little helping hand. Need someone to come pick me up and let you stand by me. Come on now, baby. Yeah. Baby. Whoa, whoa. Come on and stand by me. Hey, darling, stand by me. Come on, pretty baby, stand by me. Come on and help me, baby. I need a little love. Come on and stand right by me. Whenever I'm in trouble, won't you stand? Come on and stand by me. Baby. Come on.
Searching for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit me get up. First shot, come strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious, somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, nope, y'all can't copy yet. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT shit hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back question. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Nah, can I kick it? Thank you, yeah, I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me, go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on Shark Week. Raw, time to go off, gone, deuces goodbye. I got a world to see, and my girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer, nah, I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now, sing this song and it goes like, raise those hands, this is our party. We came here to live life like nobody was watching. I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. Learn from that failure, gain humility, and then we keep marching.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Good morning. I have to admit, it's really, really early for me to be up. I don't even wake up this early to go to school anymore, so I think Glenna got lucky with me being here with you all today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan Whitaker. I am a proud Denver kid, also a graduating senior at East High School. Go Angels. Thank you, thank you. And I'd like to welcome you all to our annual Empowering Our Tomorrow breakfast. It's amazing to have all you wonderful people with us today. So just to give you guys a little background on my personal experience with Denver Kids, I've been in Denver Kids since I was in 2nd grade. I know, right? It's a long 10 years. But as saying that, it's been a wonderful 10 years. And when I first got into Denver Kids, I didn't have the confidence or the high self-esteem that you see here today, all this swag. But I just want to say that it's a blessing to have all these wonderful people in my life. I struggled young. It was just me, my mom, and my sister, and I didn't have a role model in my life. And when I first came to Denver Kids, that's the first thing they gave me, was somebody to look up to and to have there to support me. And I've worked with many, many amazing role models. Craig Mills, Warren Smith, Chad Edwards, Tom, Kurt, and many other people have just been there to support me. And I'm not gonna lie, these 10 years have been really, really hard. You know, there's been obstacles where I've been homeless before. And there was a time where I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to quit and give up. But with these amazing people having my back, they didn't allow me to do that. Every day they told me, Jordan, you're going to be great. Jordan, you're going to do all these wonderful things. And to have someone to say that to you, to believe in you so much, is just, I don't even have the words for it, because that's how meaningful it is. And I think that's what Denver Kids is all about. It's just being there for kids who are struggling, who just need that extra push to get them through high school, for them to continue on and go to college. And I want to thank each and every person that has ever encountered my life and maybe not even said 10 words to me, but just said, good job. You're going to do great things. And now, after these long 10 years, I'm going to be graduating high school, which I can say I didn't think I was going to do. And I'm going to be attending Metro for a year, and then I'm going to continue with a business degree at Morehouse. Thank you. And so now I'd like to ask you guys to take a moment, pull your cell phones out, turn them off. You don't want to miss me talking. So if you could take a moment and put them on silent or just turn them off, that'll be great. Okay, now I want to acknowledge some of our special guests we have with us today in the building. Councilman Paul Lopez, Councilman Chris Herndon, Representative Dan Pabon, Representative Jean Labuda, DPS Board of Education, Rosemary Rodriguez and Happy Haynes, and to all of those who made today possible. To our students who got here very early, trust me, this is the struggle, if you know what I mean. Could we all have the students stand for a second? All these kids you see here standing, these are who Denver Kids supports, and it means a lot. To our 70 table captains who have agreed to share our story with you, thank you. Today would not be possible without you. To our educational counselors and entire Denver Kids staff, you are the heart and soul of this organization. We thank you. Without this, we wouldn't be possible. To our volunteer mentors, thank you for all your hard dedication and time. To our sponsoring organizations, Denver Public Schools, Denver Rotary Club, we thank you. Also, Denver 2030, thank you for your time. To our board directors who provide leadership day in and day out, thank you. And finally, to our sponsors, Sage Hospitality, thank you. Hush Blackwell, the Piton Foundation, Ann Schutz, Carlos Gonzalez, and Kaiser Permanente, thank you. So for many of you, today is your first encounter with Denver Kids. It's been around for about 68 years, and it was founded by the Denver Rotary Club and Denver Public Schools to provide educational counselors to students struggling in school. We serve about 1,300 students across all grade levels, and we're looking to push this number forward in the next couple years. Our goal is to graduate our students career and college ready. Volunteer mentors work with educational counselors day in and day out. It's a long, long process, but it's just to help the kids push forward and reach their maximum potential. Please make sure that you take time to read the brochures on your tables. It just gives you a further description of our mission. So today is a day of promise. Today is the day where we show you what we can do when we all join together and dedicate our time and hard work into a young kid just like me and make them successful. Sometimes it only takes one person just like each of you in this room, to make a difference. And now, I'd like for you to hear from some of our own Denver kids. Give a round of applause.
Hi, my name is Armani, and I want to ask members of Denver Rotary and Denver Active 2030 to please stand. Thank you, Denver Rotary Club. For over 68 years, you have been a great partner, which means kids like me can be successful in school. Denver Active 2030, thank you for making our Christmas so special and for sponsoring Denver Kids.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I want to ask Jerry Middle to stand. Jerry Middle, thank you for making Denver Kids a part of your family. Whether you know it or not, you have made a difference in the lives of thousands of kids, including me. And thank you to all our donors who make Denver Kids possible.
I'm Charles. I want to ask Taylor and Mike Parduns to stand. They are my mentors. Thank you, Taylor and Mike, for believing in me, for doing whatever it takes, for always having fun with us. Thank you to all mentors for all the times you gave to us. Hi, I am James. I want to ask Eloy to stand. Eloy, thank you for having our back in school and supporting our dreams, because if you were supporting, I knew I would be successful. And thank you to all educational counselors for believing in us.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah, and I want to ask all teachers to stand. Thank you for being our teachers and for challenging us to do our best.
Let's give these young kids another round of applause. Just want to say it takes a lot of courage for you guys to come up here. So on behalf of me, I'd like to say good job. And just to keep going, always push forward through any obstacles. Don't let anything stop you, because you can be whatever you want to. Good job, you guys. So now we're going to give you guys a couple minutes to enjoy this wonderful breakfast you guys have. I think I'm going to go get some too. If you guys would like, there are some cards on your table with some stories of some Denver kids. So if you would like to read those, it's really powerful and moving. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Glenna, and I'm the proud president and CEO of Denver Kids, and I love my job. So I have to just start off by acknowledging that when our last little Denver kid acknowledged our teachers and no one stood up, it occurred to me as I was sitting there that they're not here because they're in school teaching. They're actually doing what they're supposed to do. But we are so grateful for them. I want to start this morning by asking you to consider a question with me. What does it start to take a movement? If you look back on any significant movement, women's suffrage, civil rights, Arab Spring, you'll find that a movement first starts with a declaration about what can be. There's an acknowledgement that something could be better for someone, that perhaps something isn't fair for a group of people. In Denver, we believe that things could be better for our children. There's a widening opportunity gap for children who aren't getting the education that they need and deserve. Far too many children are dropping out. In Denver public schools, the graduation rate, the on-time graduation rate, is 61%. And by the end of today, you can expect that on average, 5 students will drop out. We're losing our kids one by one, and this is a crisis. At Denver Kids, we believe that the dropout crisis is solvable in our lifetime. We believe that every child deserves the chance to pursue their future aspirations and to contribute something meaningfully. And this morning, Denver Kids is taking a stand to end the dropout crisis. Once a declaration is made, there's a new narrative or a story that's told. And you've heard the story of the cost of not providing an education when a child drops out. The 5 students that I mentioned just a moment ago, they'll cost you and I as taxpayers $1.2 million in increased social services, in increased unemployment cost, and in some cases, incarceration. The number of Black children living in poverty in Colorado spiked from 28% to 41% from the years 2007 to 2012, almost doubling in 5 years. And our Latino children aren't far behind, with the second highest poverty rate at 31%. We will pay for this in the future. More than 90% of the students at Denver Kids are living below the poverty line. And if they don't have our service, you can expect that 1 in 2 will drop out. At Denver Kids, we're creating a new narrative for our children, a narrative for the future, a narrative that says all children, no matter your background, no matter your skin color, no matter the zip code that you're born into, that you can be successful in school. Denver Public Schools is changing the narrative. Over the last 5 years, they've increased graduation rates by 20 percentage points, and they've cut the dropout rate in half. And while we don't have our teachers here this morning, we have many, many people who work inside of our schools who we are so proud to be partners with, and we want you to know today, thank you for all that you do. And still we have a persistent achievement gap. The achievement gap between low-income and more affluent students is on average 30 percentage points. And only 61% of our third graders are reading at proficiency. Our theme today is One by One. And our program works at Denver Kids because we have educational counselors like Eloy who walk side by side, and he works with students one by one. Our counselors go into schools and they check on attendance of our kids. They check on their grades and they check on their emotional well-being. They make sure that they're enrolled into programs like tutoring. They make sure that they get the mental health support that they need. They make sure that they get the opportunity to engage in sports and arts programs. In fact, they walk our kids to the front of the line, much like you and I do with our own children. Counselors who stick with them no matter what, on average, for over 6 years. They challenge our kids to do better, and they set the expectation very high. They talk to their teachers, they talk to their parents, they talk to their guardians, they pay attention, and sometimes that's all it takes. And they have partners, they have volunteer mentors who make our kids feel special. They take them skiing, they take them to plays and performances, and they take them to their work so that they can shadow. And together they wrap their collective arms around our kids as if to say, we will not let you fail. The change in narrative is important because this is where you begin to build a critical mass in a movement. And I want to tell a story that I think is one of the most affirming examples of this, actually, when you create a shared vision and ownership. So I had the opportunity a few years ago to visit Robben Island in South Africa, and most of you know that's where Nelson Mandela was held for 20 of the 27 years that he was in prison. And when you go to Robben Island, you leave from Cape Town on a ferry and you go to the island and you get on a bus. And your first stop on the bus is at the limestone quarry. And this is where the prisoners were forced to process limestone for the roads on the island. And if you look far in the distance, you can see a cave. And that's where the prisoners congregated because the conditions were so brutal. It was a place to escape. And guards didn't go into that cave because of apartheid. Blacks and whites were kept separate. So that was a place for the prisoners to congregate. And there were two classes of prisoners. There were political prisoners and those that were there convicted of a criminal offense. And they didn't necessarily relate to each other. The political prisoners soon found out that the other prisoners actually had very limited schooling. And they took it upon themselves to educate each other. And they developed a campaign called Each One, Teach One. And by the time that a prisoner left Robben Island, it said that he had the equivalent of a college degree. At one of the most notorious prisons in history, there was a community formed around a shared vision, that they owned. They believed that every single person deserved the chance to be educated. Each one, teach one. I want you to imagine with me for just a moment if every single person in this room, and there are 800 of us here this morning, if each one of us took on one child like they were our own, that's 800 children and 800 lives transformed. So that shared vision is important, and while most of us think about Nelson Mandela as the leader of the anti-apartheid movement, what we know are there were other critical leaders, and there were thousands of South Africans, black, brown, and white, who shared that vision of a fully democratic society. A movement takes collaboration. Our 2020 vision that you heard Jordan speak about, that's a mile marker on our way to ending the dropout crisis. We're real clear that we're not going to get it done alone. And we're linking arms with our nonprofit partners, many of them here today, and we're creating strategic alliances. A movement takes action. It's not enough to declare the end to something. This morning, we're asking that you all join us as champions, as donors, and as volunteers. A movement is fueled by people and is fueled by dollars. To serve an ever-growing need in our district, we'll need to grow our budget by $4 million by the year 2021. And that sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but it's nothing compared to what you and I will pay for if we allow the dropout crisis to continue. And let me just break that down for you. That's $2,000 per student per year. We'll tackle the dropout crisis $1 at a time. And because many of you stepped up last year, you were so generous, we added 300 new spots for our children. We increased the number of students served by 30%, and that's because of many of you here in this room. We have a solid strategic plan to meet that demand, and we're going to go forward. But we know it's not just about growth, it's also about quality. We outpaced the district's graduation rate by 20 percentage points for the children that we serve. But we're losing kids. Our vision is every student counts, every student graduates. Not 75%, not 80, not even our goal of 90, but all the way to 100. And we need to get better at serving kids who come from the most high-risk environments, those who truly, truly struggle to get over the finish line, those who have significant mental health issues, or perhaps they've had a very significant loss in their lives. And finally, we'll need to grow our community of 250 mentors, volunteer mentors, so that every deserving child knows what it's like to have two caring adults in their life. What does it take to start a movement? A declaration about what can be, a change in the narrative, the creation of a shared vision and then ownership of that vision, collaboration, and then action. This morning, Denver Kids is taking a stand, and we ask that you all stand with us. This is our declaration, our stake in the ground, our shared vision for what can be for our children and for our community. We will end the dropout crisis, but we won't do it without you. We'll tackle it one student at a time, one mentor at a time, $1 at a time, and one graduate at a time, and 1 year at a time. And when Denver tackles ending the dropout crisis, other cities are going to look to us, and they're going to want to join in. And now you have a movement, and our kids deserve nothing less. So let this day, today, May 7th, be the day that we all look back and remember this was the day that we took a stand. This was the day that we declared an end to the dropout crisis, and we created our own movement. Every student counts, every student graduates. We changed the narrative forever for our children, and we embraced every single one of them as if they were our own. Thank you.
Every time he comes, he always asks me, how is school going? How was your day? Jason is a male role model that has just stepped into my life. It makes me feel nice because actually somebody cares. He's actually a man that I can look up to.
Ultimately, my relationship with Brian is just beginning. I'm excited for the journey that we're embarking on. Brian has shown that he is driven to accomplish his goals.
Jason actually really helped me, and he encouraged me pursuing my dreams to go to Denver School of the Arts because I love singing. It's one of my deepest passions, and I want to keep pursuing that dream, and Denver School of the Arts and Jason's help will actually really help me.
He has big dreams and humongous goals, and so if I am here to just be a sounding board and let him bounce questions off me, that might be all this kid might need.
When I was in my audition, I can hear his voice in my head saying, you can do it, just be confident.
I don't believe anyone on my caseload will not graduate, and I'm gonna be at every single graduation, smiling, laughing, high-fiving, crying, I might even cry.
I've never really had a male role model. I'm so glad I have him because I actually have someone to talk to who is actually a guy.
We take one kid, we work with him one-on-one, he gets one counselor, one mentor. We all share the one common goal for that kid to graduate. If we don't care, then who is gonna care for our kids?
The United Nations, they choose a family to have the opportunity to come to America. I started going to school at Fairview Elementary, and some kids, they would make fun of me because I didn't speak no English or because of the clothes I wore or my culture or my religion. My mom, I want to give her a better life. She sacrificed a lot for me and my sisters.
Her mom isn't able to work because she has to stay home to take care of her younger brother who's very disabled.
She's someone other than my family that I can talk to that's an adult. She's a great mentor.
Because that's really all we can offer as a mentor. It's just a partnership and letting her know that she'll never have to be alone because I'm always going to be there for her.
I hope to go to college and graduate from college and become a doctor someday.
Fartun got into the academic program this summer for Cushing. I have never seen her light up that much. She said, I feel like I can finally start to believe in myself. I work within the court system, and I see kids every day who do not have a support system, who go from one side of the court system to the other, and it's just an endless cycle, and they don't have the teamwork. They don't have the support system that Denver Kids provides. These kids need somebody, and they need that team, or some of them aren't gonna make it. Denver Kids makes you commit to 1 year with one kid. And I can tell you, after knowing Fartun, I'm committed to her for life. Kids that are going through Denver Kids and that are succeeding and that are graduating high school, the potential for them to come back and help more kids is incredible.
Because I don't really see my dad, I kind of have less of like a fatherly figure to look up to until now. My educational counselor, Dan, he's definitely helped me throughout the years that I've been with Denver Kids. He's a great man. He's helped me emotionally and educationally. Make sure that I'm getting A's and B's and what I need to do to strive. I want to do all these great things, but you need a great education to do it. Dan has always said, just step by step. First focus on education and college, and so has my mom. She always says, do your homework before video games and other stuff.
We've gotten Devontae on task and where he needs to be, and he's excelling.
My role with Devontae, in large part, has been more of an advocate, and then in getting him the mentor to build his self-esteem. Dave has been wonderful in that he's nurtured him.
Color. The three colors are.
When Devontae really made up his mind that he no longer wanted to see his father at all, Dave was there in whatever capacity Devontae needed him. He was there.
When it finally got to the point when I could talk about him, about my dad and all that stuff, how I feel about it, he was listening the whole time, kind of healing me through it.
It's just a true relationship and friendship that they've developed.
He's definitely a good listener, and like when I mean good listener, he's a very good listener. I yap all the time.
Being a Denver Kid mentor means staying involved. They make a commitment to my kids. Maybe on paper it says till they graduate, but I don't foresee any one of these relationships that my kids have with any of their mentors stopping at 18. I don't think my kids are gonna let them go.
I feel like I've kind of been adopted by the Denver Kids program. The Denver Kids program has always told me that I will do great things. It just opens me up to a lot of ideas of what I could do in the future.
They're tremendous. I think they're a hero to a lot of these kids out here. I know to mine.
I am one. I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one. I am one.
Have you ever had 3 young children clinging to you, crying that they want their mom, as they wait for human services to take them from school and place them somewhere because of the neglect by their drug-addicted mom? I hope you never have to witness that. It is something I will never forget. I am Margaret Fulmer, and I am grateful to have had the opportunity, the privilege, to lead Denver Kids Incorporation for the 15 years prior to Donna and Glenna. Having been a counselor for Denver Kids the previous 12 years before assuming this role, I knew the necessity of serving more children in similar situations, of having the best possible staff who have a genuine desire to make a difference in the life of a child by working one by one with that child, the parent, and the school. As you saw in the video, and then assuring the Denver community that Denver Kids was worthy of them providing the necessary resources to build the foundation on which it stands today. I am forever grateful for my comrade, Wendell Wagner. Would you stand, Wendell? The leader of Denver Boys, who saw the vision and stood alongside me to see that Denver Kids became a reality. Thanks, Wendell. And people like Dr. Darrell Bobier. Darrell, would you stand? Who was the Director of Guidance and Counseling for Denver Public Schools, who championed the cause for over 45 years ago as our Denver Public School leader. Thanks, Darrell. Darrell is 94 years old and has lots of tidbits of history to share with anyone who's willing to listen about this great organization. As for those 3 children, I was so grateful that the school called me that day, that I should come to the school as they were calling Human Services, so I could be there as a support for these children. Fortunately, the girls were placed in a foster home within the city and county of Denver and continued in Denver Public Schools, so therefore I could continue to work with them. Not only did I continue to work to see the children, but maintain contact with the mother, mainly for the sake of the children, to assure them she was okay, especially for the 10-year-old who was as much a caretaker for that mom as she was for her 2 younger siblings because of mom's drug addiction. I was also able to convince mom to get into a program for drug addiction if she wanted to get her kids back. The children were also fortunate to have a Denver Kids mentor who took on all 3 girls. Mentors like Susan Crane and Gary Prado, a husband and wife team. Would you stand, please? Who are with us today and have been mentors involved with Denver Kids. Thank you. For over 20 years. Mom did complete that program and decided she needed to get away from the environment she was in, not to be tempted again, so she decided to move to be closer to family who would be a support system with her and the girls. As a counselor, I had also experienced pondering how to answer a 14-year-old who asked, "What's wrong with me having a baby?" since my mom had me while in high school and she turned out all right. This question was asked as we talked about the pros and cons of her being a 9th grader, dating a 19-year-old high school dropout. How would I answer that question and at the same time let her know that I respected her mom because of the hardships and challenges her mom had overcome as a teenager? I had also experienced taking a 4th grader from West Denver to be her mentors at the mentor's office in Southeast Denver. Due to a traffic jam on Interstate I-25, I continued on 6th Avenue to Monaco. She was a little chatterbox, and as I focused on driving, I could easily say, shake my head, but I soon noticed she wasn't chatting anymore. I looked to see what was a distraction, and I noticed as she turned from side to side looking out of the car windows. So I too looked to see what she was looking at. All I could see was the beautiful houses along 6th Avenue. Before I could ask what was getting her attention, she asked, "I see only one door in front of those big houses. Does that mean that only one family lives there?" I answered yes and asked if she would like to live in one of those houses. Having lived only in her housing development for her lifetime, she answered, "I don't think my mom could afford the rent." I explained that I wasn't talking about her mom. I was talking about her after she stayed in school, got good grades, went to college, and got a good job. She continued to look starry-eyed and said, "That's a good idea, but do you think I can do that?" I told her I knew she could do it, and that Denver Kids and I would be there and watch her do it. I dangled that carrot in front of her all through school, bringing her House Beautiful and other magazines to keep the dream alive. I even put one in her little gift bag when she graduated from high school and enrolled in college. She graduated, married her high school sweetheart, and she did buy a house. It wasn't quite as big as those along the avenue, but she says, it has one door, and only one family lives in it, and it's mine. I share those particular stories because, you see, most of us have our bucket list, but many of the kids we work with don't have a list, and many don't even have a bucket. This child has not been far enough from her limited environment to know that big houses even existed. But once she realized that there was a whole new world out there, and someone told her she could be a part of that world, a dream was planted, a seed of hope, and someone watered it, and it came to fruition. Today, kids still come into this program who have been exposed to so very little in life. So why go to school? Why get good grades when what I see with my limited vision? And if that's all there is, I can work a little construction job every now and then and still have what I have today. What is the future for these kids? With the global society that we live in today, the rest of the world will pass them by if someone does not intervene and allow them to see that there's so much more than video games, rap and hard rock, substance abuse, legal and unlegal. As I close, I'm sure you're wondering what I said to that young lady regarding having a baby. I shared with her that yes, her mom had done a great job raising her, but things were different 15, 20 years ago than they are today, such as the technology-based marketplace and the skill set needed to fill those jobs. And maybe she had choices that her mom didn't, a choice to graduate, go to college. She was very intelligent and hopefully find a young man whose goals were similar to hers. We had those conversations for the rest of the time she was in high school. I also sat down with mom and told her what a good job she had done all by herself in raising her daughter. She hugged me and cried and said she did not want her daughter to have to make the sacrifices she had in rearing her alone, and how hard it was. She thanked me, her daughter's mentor in Denver Kids, for being there for both of them. Otherwise, she didn't think she would have made it. I also helped her frame the story to share with the daughter in such a way the daughter would know the mom that she was the light of her mother, but that the mother would never want her to experience motherhood the way she had. I thank all of you for coming today. We owe the success of this program to so many. The latter portion of the popular quotation some attribute to Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "To appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a better place, whether by a healthy child or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded." Thank you.
All right, I have no idea how I'm supposed to follow that. Thank you, Margaret, for those stories. A big round of applause for Margaret and 25 plus years of service at Denver Kids. That's incredible. Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Karpinski, and I'm the chairman of the board of Denver Kids. And before I get started, I want to first thank everyone here in the room that's joining us, and I also want to say a special hello to all the students here in the room with us. You saw them earlier. We are very proud of you. Thank you, kids. As we begin to wrap up this morning, I'd like to share with you how you can help us join in our movement. But before I do so, I want to briefly share my personal experience with Denver Kids and why I'm privileged to be up here in front of you today. I wish I could tell you that I really know what it's like to be a Denver kid and to face the personal challenges of higher risk environments. I can't tell you that because I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in an environment where I was handed all of the ingredients that I needed to be successful in life and accomplish anything that I wanted. For me, success in life was almost a given. In my family growing up, graduating from high school and going to a top college or university was never a question. It was a given. And it wasn't until I became an adult and until I became a parent myself, my kids are here, they're missing school, did I realize that I took my childhood for granted. The point of that story is not to tell you that I had a great childhood. The point of that story is to tell you that looking back personally, I realized that I am no different than any of these kids that we serve. I'm not any smarter. I'm not any more driven. I'm not any more passionate than they are. I've never had any more abilities or agilities or potential than they do. And if the probability of accomplishing my dreams was higher than theirs is, it was for no other reason than my family had the means to make it all easier for me. And I imagine that is the case with several of you here with us this morning at this breakfast. Denver Kids focuses on the great equalizer in our society, education. We believe, and we have proven it through our results over and over again over 68 years, that by living within our mission that every student counts, every student graduates, that we can play an integral role in systematically and foundationally helping kids and their families break through this cycle of limited opportunity. We are convinced that by helping these kids, when they are successful in life and they become self-contributing contributors to society, that it doesn't stop with them. It transcends to their future families and families around them. This has far-reaching positive effects on our cities, our state, our society as a whole. And I believe that is the number one way to positively impact these students and their families' lives, while at the same time creating a rising tide for all of society. I have seen Denver Kids do this with my own eyes over and over and over again. And it is ultimately why I am privileged to be standing up here in front of you today. You heard Glenna speak earlier about the 2020 vision and our commitment to end the dropout crisis. We can lead the nation in starting a movement on behalf of all of our children. Let's show our students that they matter to us as a community. And we know that you're here today because you're committed to education and you want to make a difference. Many of you have attended this breakfast before, and we value your partnership. So now that you've heard about our vision to end this dropout crisis in Denver, I am honored to ask you to partner with us by making a financial investment in our growth. 5 years ago, Denver Kids launched the Investing in Our Giving Circle. In that short time, we are proud to announce that 115 individuals and organizations have joined that giving circle and have made a 5-year or more financial investment in our students and programs. If you are one of those 115, thank you very much. We are grateful that you took a stand to make a pledge into our future. I invite you to join these Giving Circle members. You will play a vital role in helping us expand an already strong program. And I'd now like to ask the table captains to pass around their pledge cards. But before I dive into those pledge cards, I want to share a couple exciting bits of news with you. The first is that the Sala Foundation has offered Denver Kids a dollar-for-dollar match on all new and increased donations made today up to $100,000. We've already raised $50,000 of this match before coming in here this morning, which means we only need another $50,000 more to unlock that $100K. For many of you, that means your donation will be doubled today. This challenge grant was issued as a way to fuel our growth, and I ask that you consider increasing whatever you might give today as a way to leverage these dollars. I'm also pleased to announce that my wife, Matet, and I are personally contributing $10,000 to this endeavor. And my partners at Sage Hospitality, Walter Eisenberg, Christy Eisenberg, Zach and Amy Newmeyer, who are the title sponsors of today's breakfast, have also committed another $20,000 in new dollars to maximize our impact. You know, it's hard to go anywhere in Denver nowadays, especially when it comes to education and youth services, without one of those individuals having some role in it. Please join me in applauding their great leadership to this city and state. I ask that you join us in helping make this the most successful breakfast to date. Let's show Denver what we can do in just 1 hour. Now, to direct your attention to those pledge sheets, starting at the top of the form, you'll see investing in our future pledge levels. That represents an investment, a relationship with our students and organization. It's a declaration that you will support these deserving kids for 5 years. The first giving level is a pledge of $1,000 a year for 5 years, and we call this our encouraging level. This kind of investment ensures that we are able to provide educational counseling to one student for a full year. For just $84 a month, your gift will provide support to a new student over the next 5 years. The second level I would like to call out is the inspiring level. For $5,000 a year over 5 years, it's roughly the cost of matching 25 students one-on-one with educational counselors and mentors every year for the next 5 years. Our students who are paired with both an educational counselor and a mentor, not surprisingly, do better in school. We also know that many of you are part of a company or a family foundation and may be able to invest at a higher level. The Transforming Lives level lets you invest at $25,000 over 5 years every year. That level of gift will significantly fund our 2020 Promise and Growth plans. And although I started by talking about the Giving Circle, which is planned giving over 5 years, we all know that there are people in the audience that also have different financial means and may not fit into one of those existing programs. So we've provided the next line, the fill in the blank line, for you to tell us how much you'd like to give and for how many years. If your company has a matching program for gifts, please let us know by checking the line in the pledge form. Or perhaps you'd like to give a gift of stock, or you'd like to give your gift of time. We need mentors to walk the path of these students and invite you to find out more about that volunteer opportunity. And finally, you may just have some great ideas for us. So if you do, please let us know. By participating, you will have transformative impact on helping to end this dropout crisis in Denver. This breakfast serves as our biggest fundraiser of the year, and we truly appreciate the support that you can provide. Today marks the beginning of a movement, and we are proudly and profoundly grateful for the gifts you guys are going to make, including the gift of your time. I will now give you a few minutes to fill out your forms. When you are done, please pass your envelope back to your table captain. And now I'm going to turn the microphone back over to Mr. Jordan Whitaker. But before I do, I'm going to give him my tie because this morning, Jordan, he told me he liked it, right? So you can have it. And when you're a big executive or you're going to a big job interview, you can wear it. Good luck. Thank you.
You guys give another round of applause for this amazing man right here. So I just want to know, how many of you are excited to see my face again? Okay, all jokes aside. But I just wanted to say something. As I seen that video that we were watching up there, it really touched me on the inside in my soul. And I started to cry, and I'm not a guy for crying. You know, I tell people that that's crybaby stuff, like stop that. But it shows you what Denver Kids is really about. And it's not really, well, it is about the money. We need the money. But just to have somebody dedicate their time and support, as you've seen in the video, that's really what Denver Kids is all about. And that's what each kid in Denver really needs. It's just somebody to push you. And I'd like to, is Rod McNeil in the building today? Is Rod not here? Well, Rod has been my mentor since I've been in Denver Kids. And even though he's not here, I just want you guys to give him a hand clap. That man has dedicated countless hours into my life, and I don't think I'll ever be able to repay him. So I just wanted to say thank you for all his time and dedication. And can I have Craig Mills stand up? Guys, I've only known Craig for this year, and this man has given me countless amount of knowledge just about the next steps in my life. So I'd like for you guys to give him a hand clap. Okay. And can I have Warren Smith stand up? He's been my counselor throughout high school, so I just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done, and our job is almost done. So thank you guys for being here this morning. We appreciate your time for allowing us to share our story. If you want more information about our program, you can visit our website, Denver Kids, and it'll just give you a further description of what we do. For all of you that filled out a pledge card, we will be in touch with you and follow up with your input. On your table, you'll see a button. And today we ask that you guys can go ahead and put it on right there. This one right here. And we ask that you put it on and wear, go ahead. We ask that you put it on today. And when people ask you about the button, we want you to tell them about all the great works that Denver Kids does. And just continue to share our story with other people. Tell them that we are committed to this mission, the one by one. And throughout these next years, we continue to grow that number of kids that we serve. And we just want to thank you again for all being here. You guys have a wonderful day.